Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Gopi Chanu Balamba, Jaya Giri Varadari, Jaya Giri Varadari, Jaya Pijana Balamba, Jaya Giri Varadari, Jaya Giri Varadari, Jaya Gopi Jana Balamba, Jaya Giri Varadari, Jaya Giri Varadari, Jaya Gopi Jana Balamba, Jaya Giri Varadari, Jaya Giri Varadari, Jaya Yashoda Nandana, Jaya Brajachana Ranjana, Jaya Brajachana Ranjana, Jaya Yashoda Nandana, Jaya Brajachana Ranjana, Jaya Brajachana Ranjana, Jaya Yashoda Nandana, Jaya Brajachana Ranjana, Jaya Brajachana Ranjana, Jaya Jaya Brajachana Ranjana, Jaya Brajachana Ranjana, Jaya Yamuna Tiravana Chari, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Yamuna Tiravana Chari, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radhamadamba, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radhamadamba, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jaya Radhamadamba, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Louder. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Janitai Gora from Anandi. So say Mangacharan, and then we'll begin. So Nagyanatilurandasya, Gyananjana Shalakaya, Chakshum Militam Yena, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale, Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam, Vandeham Shri Guru, Shri Yuta Padakamalam, Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha, Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tvam Sajiva. Sadvaitam Savadutam Virgina Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakam Vitamscha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kapaturabhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prasharini Nivishesha Shunyavadi Paskatya Deshatarini. So first of all, I have my obeisances to all the devotees and also ask the blessings of our seniors, His Grace Shuddhakirti Prabhu and His Holiness Candramauli Maharaj, and all the assembled Vaishnavas so we can engage in this dialogue today. And we were going to begin with a Q&A. Because I know from yesterday's session, there were some questions that people had. So we'll give some time for that and then we'll go on to discuss today's topic, if that's okay. Okay. So, yes, I see Radhavati San. Do you have a microphone, please? Okay, so just a reminder. So we spoke about the greed of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The different incarnations have different greed, and that greed also, sorry, I didn't see His Holiness Jayananda Maharaj, so we also ask his blessings as well. Hare Krishna, thank you for being here. So we can speak something. Hare Krishna Maharaj. So we began yesterday, we spoke about how God has greed. And so we were mentioning how different incarnations of the Lord have a certain lobha, and that greed is fulfilled in other incarnations. And we also then mentioned how Lord Chaitanya's movement is giving the highest to the most fallen. And then we also spoke about how the Sankirtan Yajna is actually the remedy for all issues in society. Okay, so Radha Bhakti had a question.
Thank you so much for yesterday's class. We were all talking about it the rest of the day. So many wisdom bombs. One of the things you talked about was the importance of being humble and being dependent on the grace of the Lord. And you talked about the third verse of the Shastakam. And I wonder if you could talk about what does it look like to be a humble devotee who's also who has a healthy level of self-esteem, and who's confident. What does that look like? And specifically, I think devotees, myself included, sometimes don't know how to maybe stand up for ourselves or recognize if we're not being treated well or being abused or somebody else is being abused. So can you just talk about that relationship between humility and self-esteem?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for that question. I was thinking about that actually yesterday because I thought it could be good to just clarify that. Excuse me. So there's a pastime with Srila Prabhupada, and he's asked this question, how does one become humble? And his response at that time, okay, is this better? Okay. So there's a pastime with Srila Prabhupada, and he's asked this question, how does one become humble? And his response is just be bold for Krishna. So on the surface, it may seem contradictory. Right? So on the one hand, this statement about being humble, on the other hand, be bold for Krishna. But there's no contradiction. The essence of humility is that it's not our agenda. The essence of humility is what would please the Supreme Personality of Godhead in this particular situation. So, if you see Srila Prabhupada, when Prabhupada would walk, he looks like this emperor, very regal. And that is also an expression of his humility. Krishna Balaram ki jai, Shri Radha Govinda Madhava ki jai. So, real humility is to put the agenda of Krishna front and center. Now also, within that, everyone is dear to Krishna. In the principles of surrender, the first two, accept what's favorable, reject what's unfavorable. So the point is that as one is practicing, one understands what's going to help me to remain enthusiastic in my spiritual life. Right? And as much as possible, one tries to arrange those circumstances for one's own enthusiasm and also support that within other people as well. So I asked my spiritual master a question about this many decades ago. His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. And he said that there's two ways of playing God. He said one way of playing God is that we think that we're the greatest. Right? So I'm so great. It's one way of putting ourselves in the center. He said the other way of playing God is to feel that, is to put ourselves in the center in terms of a pity party. He calls it. No one's doing this for me. No one's doing that for me. In both cases, we're in the center. The essence of Krishna consciousness and the beauty of the Sankirtan movement is that we genuinely put Krishna in the center. And we try to understand what would be pleasing to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It doesn't mean that we're not tolerant, by the way. It doesn't mean that we're not tolerant. We are tolerant. The nature of the material world is one has to be tolerant. Right? But at the same time, we're trying to arrange our life and facilitate the lives of others to be in such a way that they're very enthusiastic. And the healthy self-esteem of a devotee understands that, yes, we may be insignificant, but Krishna loves us. In fact, that's the essence of all healthy self-esteem. When a child is growing up and they become an adult with healthy self-esteem, it's because they got the love and attention of their parents, actually. So it's exactly the same principle. Right? The principle is that we are loved and we are, we are loved and we are cherished by Krishna. Why? Because we're part and parcel of Krishna. Mamai vamso jiva loke, jiva bhuta sanatana manasha shtanindriyani prakriti shtani kajati. So mama, eva, amsa. Mama means my, eva certainly, amsa, part and parcel. Because we're part and parcel of Krishna, we are loved of Krishna. We are beloved of Krishna. So in that way, we simultaneously have this humility and this tolerance because we understand how great Krishna is. And we have this tremendous enthusiasm and healthy self-esteem because we understand that the very same person who is so great, that person loves us. I'll add one other thing. See, it is also why the devotees should be confident. So it's like this. You know, you have a job and you're earning some money and you think you're earning a good salary and you're doing okay. And then you meet the billionaire and you see how they live, right? And you think, oh, they've got a lot more facility than I have, okay? So you feel what you have isn't very great when you compare it to what they have. But there's another factor. That person who's so wealthy then turns around and says, I'm going to bankroll your business. I want you to start a business. Don't worry, I'll support you. I'll provide the funding, I'll provide the resources, the contacts, everything. So you're humble because this person has so much, and compared to them, you have nothing. But you're also very confident in doing your business because this person has so much as well. So the same reason that we are humble is the same reason that we're confident, actually. So if either side is missing, it means it's not coming from realization of Krishna. Right? If we're not humble, it means that there's a lack of understanding Krishna's greatness. And if we're not bold, it's also coming from a lack of understanding Krishna's greatness. Yeah. Does that make some sense? Yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay, Prabhu has that hand up.
Hare Krishna. I think you may have answered this question in the class, but because it wasn't absolutely clear for me, I don't want to make false assumptions and to ask for clarification. So you said that the Lord gives mercy to the most fallen. Who are the most fallen?
Good question. We explained yesterday, and the Bhagavatam talks about Kali Yuga as being an ocean of faults, actually. And so it is considered that those who are taking birth in Kali Yuga are the most fallen, actually. So, us. Yeah. But we also mentioned this statement, Patita Pavana Hetu Tava Avatar, No Samo Patita Prabhu Napai Bear. The Lord Chaitanya is this Patita Pavan. Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, they become very excited to deliver when they see fallen conditioned souls. I was looking at this place from the Chaitanya Charitamrita yesterday, so it's very beautiful. Maybe we'll read it later on. But Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami have approached Lord Chaitanya, and they, in their communication with Lord Chaitanya, they say that they're more fallen than Jagai and Madai. And we mentioned yesterday that this arrangement, Lord Vishnu had this greed, he wanted to fight. Yeah, oh, Krishna, oh, okay. Yes, in the verse as well, yeah. So, so they have this mood, this very, very humble mood. And we mentioned how in the sense that Lord Vishnu has this greed, he wants to fight someone. So Jai and Vijay are cursed. And he said they came 3 times, but actually they came 4 times. The 4th time that Jai and Vijay appear is in Chaitanya Leela as Jagai and Madai. So they come another time. And so even they've done so many negative things, even they are delivered. See, like that. So the most fallen is inhabitants of this Kali Yuga age. To answer your question.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else? Let's see some hands at the back. Grab the microphone, please.
Hare Krishna. My question is with regards to the comment which you made yesterday, where you said that most of us are in Maya because we're trying to be more. But the real mercy comes from the humble, and that's the real sign of intelligence. So this principle, is that only applicable in spiritual world, or is it also applicable in material world, especially when you are in the corporate world? Humility or being humble, is that a good thing to do?
Yeah, but one has to understand what humility is. What was it Prabhupada said? You should be like a lamb at home and a lion on the chase. It's a very powerful statement. So the point is, in all instances, humility is actually more, it is a recognition of the reality, actually. So humility means, so Prabhupada in his purports to Bhagavad Gita, he says in one place, humility means truthfulness. And in another purport, in Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada says humility means being free of the desire to be respected by others. He writes so. So in both cases, it doesn't mean that one does not have some assertion. Prabhupada was very bold, very, very assertive. Right? But it's actually, again, what will fulfill Krishna's agenda. Yeah, like that. So we touched upon this idea of the Sankirtan mission is very powerful. In fact, one of the things if we get to it today, is this point that Jiva Goswami has written a commentary. In the commentary, he says that there are three kinds of cheaters who are deprived of Lord Chaitanya's mercy. Since you touched upon, I'll just mention one of them. One of them is called Dan Karpati. And he says people who are in a position to help the preaching movement, but they're stingy, right? Miserly, creepiness, right? So he says those people who could give support, but don't give support. So Prabhupada will sometimes say that, we're a movement, we require financial support, organizational support. If people who can give don't give, who are lazy or stingy, Jiva Goswami says that is one of the three types of cheaters who are deprived of Lord Chaitanya's mercy. So whether we're in the corporate sphere or any situation, we should be humble, but not in the sense of externally being seen as somehow weak or incompetent or incapable. We should actually do whatever we do, we should do it well. Right? If you do it well, then what happens is your spirituality, your Krishna consciousness is often looked upon positively. Right? If you do a bad job or if you look like you're dysfunctional, people assume that you're dysfunctional because of the practices that you have. Oh, there they are. You see, they're the devotees. Right? You see, they can't keep a job, can't do this, can't do that. So it actually gives the wrong impression. So it's just that we have to understand that humility means truthfulness, and if we want to do everything and use everything in Krishna's service, we should show up properly. Sometimes you will even see as devotees, when devotees are serving, the mood is not necessarily taking it seriously. When it comes to something in the external world, it's taken more seriously than the service that they're doing to Lord Chaitanya's mission. But actually, this is more important. Yeah? But the bridge is that what you practice in the workplace, that professionalism, attentiveness, sincerity, responsibility, that should be also utilized in the same way and even more in spreading the Lord's mission. So it can be a good place to practice, but when we do service, and I see this a lot, when we do service, we should take it very seriously. This is not the second-hand thing that we should be doing, right? So it should be conscientiously done with attention to detail. It should be done thoughtfully. That's how we should actually render service to the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yeah. But have I answered your question about the workplace? Thank you.
Obviously, when Arjuna was on the battlefield, they started saying, just surrender. They said, fight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you have to do your duty in that sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You do it and you offer the fruits of that to Krishna. Like that. Do it properly and offer the fruits to Krishna. Yeah.
But there doesn't Vinodi.
Oh, okay. So and then no, but then Janata Sundari afterwards. I think she had her hand up first.
Thank you very much. So this topic came up several times that we shouldn't be in the center, but rather place Krishna in the center. And I was wondering that sometimes there are some circumstances like health issues and similar things which focus our attention, at least to some degree, to place some focus on ourselves too. And I was wondering that the problem with this is a gradual thing, and sometimes it's not easy to notice the consequences and how to face these difficulties in a way that we can pass the tests. Because I mean, it's nice to see that where we are actually progress, but at the same time pass the tests.
Yeah, no worries. So the body, one of the names of the physical body is the sadhana sharira. It's the vehicle of service. So we do, taking up care of ourselves doesn't mean that we are in the center. You can consider that the body belongs to the Lord. This body that we have belongs to Krishna. So in Chaitanya Shikshamrita by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he says, unless you're a Paramahamsa, he said there are 4 things which are necessary. He said, number 1, good care for the body. He says, number 2, good stimulation for the mind. He says, number 3, good social situation. And he says, number 4, good study of the Shastra to see how everything fits together. The study of the Shastra is important because it helps us to take care of everything, but in the proper proportion. So it doesn't become an overemphasis in that sense, right? So we want to take care of the body because it's a vehicle for service. It's actually Krishna's body. You should consider this body belongs to Krishna. I'm looking after it on his behalf. So then even in caring for the body, we can still have a Krishna conscious focus like that. But at the same time, if we allow the body to become too much of a disturbance because we're not taking care of it properly, it can distract us from being absorbed and focused in what we're trying to do. So it's a question of just healthy balance. The way the process works is that as we practice more, we come to practicing devotional service in the mode of goodness. As one practices devotional service in the mode of goodness, one naturally finds a balance in how they do things. And then, of course, from there we come to the transcendental platform. So that's how we should think about it. And if we're not sure if we're overdoing it or underdoing it, often speaking to someone, getting a perspective, guru, spiritual masters, seniors, mentors, that helps us to see how to keep things in balance. Does that make some sense? Maharaja, if you could pass the microphone, please.
Just a quick comment.
Please, yeah, of course. Anytime.
You answered that question perfectly by saying not too much, not too little.
Yeah.
Overdoing it, as mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's one verse that says there's 22 ways by which you can engage in sense gratification. And one of them is called health directives. So people get what we call overly absorbed in that aspect of life, and then it becomes a fetish or a focus.
Yeah.
And then it's categorized as sense gratification according to the Shastra. So that's one. You have to be careful.
Yeah.
Because health is obviously required, and Prabhupada will emphasize that very, very strongly. But not that you sideline everything else and that becomes your focus. But then some people get so sick that it becomes the focus. But then you see devotees, when they get sick, they increase their bhakti as a way of, keeping their consciousness on Krishna. So it's kind of a tenuous thing. Very tenuous. It's easy to fall one way or the other.
Yeah, very true, very true. But at any time through Kirti, Prabhu, you want to make a comment, feel free to. And also Samas Jayananda Maharaj.
We'll start with that one first. It was in Hawaii, a list of 4 items, 4 important items, right? And the first thing was health. The second one was chanting. Third one was service. Fourth one was reading. Of course, health also means spiritual health. It's not just taking care of the body, it's already spiritual health. But he did write those 4 things. And one thing I was thinking, your Guru Maharaj, when I was finishing my book, I asked different people to write something. He wrote a few pages for me. This was, of course, when he was very ill. And then he sent me a note and said it all just disappeared on him. Everything was lost. But then he wrote another short thing towards the end. And in it, he said, of course, when much is given, much is expected. So, of course, for all of us, we're being given a treasure house of everything. So, obligation is there. And one thing with humility I like was in Bhaktivedanta Manor many years ago, and Sachinanda Maharaj had said it. It wasn't his quote, he found it somewhere else, but I thought it was very nice. It was a short. And he said, humility is not thinking less of yourself. It's thinking of yourself less.
Yeah.
So that was his term for humility. And I always thought that was very nice, very simple, very short. And that's humility when you spend all your time, like you said, in 2 ways. We either think we're great or we have our pity party. Either way, all we're doing is thinking of ourselves. So, yeah. And of course, I always saw that with Srila Prabhupada. I always thought of everyone else. Never thought of the self, of his requirements, what he needed, what he wanted. It was always seeing everyone else. And that's humility. That's another sign of humility.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Thank you. Jana Sundari had a question.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I might bring in 2 elements in it, but you can see hopefully why. It's related with the desire of recognition, and I feel it's like the ego involved in it is so subtle, because in one way we feel like if I'm recognized, Krishna is pleased by me, and devotees are pleased by me. But then it also happens that sometimes we are serving, and not only we are not recognized, but we are even criticized and obstacles in our service over and over again. So my question is, how do we know that it's time to change place and service, or to work inwardly related with recognition? Maybe I have to work on myself to let go of this desire for recognition, and keep serving even in a place where there are constant obstacles in that. So how do we understand when do I have to work on myself and stay and get that purification, or to go where you are actually recognized or appreciated?
Very good question. Very good question. I think we spoke about this on some occasion.
You don't get rid of your recognition by changing your position.
That's good. Yeah, perfect. Maybe Marge, if you say something first, and I'll say something.
That's all. Okay. All I said was,
At least if they can hear.
this thing about recognition doesn't change if you're simply by changing your position to avoid people giving you recognition, because it's something of a false ego. So you'll look for it somewhere else. Or when he comes in another form, you'll also be in the same situation you were before. You can expand on it.
Can say something as well.
Just something really quick about that, regarding that what you were saying about the 4 things of the Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Shikshamrita. Shikshamrita. Shikshamrita.
Sri Shikshamrita from Bhaktivedanta. One of the things is social recognition. But Bhuta Swami, our Guru Maharaj, just put it in that way. Social recognition. To be recognized, it doesn't mean to be glorified. You know, that's something that we can explore too. Because you can be recognized, you know, oh, thank you very much, Prabhu, for sweeping the floor very nicely, which is what you need. Otherwise, you're sweeping the floor every day and everybody pass by and no one cares about you, things like that. And if you don't feel recognized in a group of people, in the community, and something, it could be very detrimental for you. But if you at least you are recognized, that's a nice thing. The problem is when you want to be glorified because of you are a good sweeper. You know, so I don't know. Maybe you
Thank you.
explore that.
Thank you for that. Appreciate that.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, so just to make a few points. First of all, we may talk about this as well later on. First of all, the point is that wherever you go, whatever you do, we should take everything as purification, actually. We should take everything as purification. That doesn't mean that we necessarily, purification isn't always nice, doesn't always feel good. We should take everything as purification. We should consider that there's some reason for which Krishna has allowed this situation to happen. And the mood should be, what can I learn from the situation? And how would Krishna like me to respond to the situation? So that's one point. Second is that sometimes it may be, let's give a better example. So in Bhagavatam, there's a king, King Anga, and he has a cruel son, Vena. And actually tries to rectify his son, but eventually he realizes that he's been given this cruel son, so he'll renounce the kingdom and go to the forest and prepare to go back home, back to Godhead. Right, so there's more than one reason why something may be given. I remember I was thinking about this yesterday. I think it was the last retreat, His Holiness Candramauli Maharaj. You mentioned that Prabhupada, first he's preaching in India, and it's not moving in the way that he wants it to move. And I remember you saying that it's because his Guru Maharaj wanted him to preach in the West. You see? So it's arranged like that to, here's a little nudge, go here, preach here. But the way that we can be sure is that we can always check in with our seniors. There's a purple, Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st Canto, chapter 19, text number 12 in the purple. Prabhupada writes, every major decision should be confirmed by some authority. He says that makes the matter perfect. So that way you're protected, actually. I was thinking about this point in terms of empowerment. One of the things we'll touch on this week, today or the next session, is this point of empowerment. You know, so we quoted this yesterday, Krishna Shakti Vinanahi Tara Prabhatan. So this is from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. There's actually a verse about this point. Even when the Pandavas were about to fight, when the Pandavas were about to fight, so you had Arjuna and Yudhishthira, they went to the opposing side. And they spoke to Dronacharya and Bhishmadev, and they asked for permission to fight. And they got their blessings to actually engage in the fight against them. Like that. You know? So that confirmation and that blessing has tremendous protective power. So sometimes the situation is such that wherever we go, we'll meet the situation again. There's a consideration that the lessons that we do not pass us. So if there's something that I need to learn, it will sometimes be the case that wherever I go, that lesson will follow me until I learn that lesson. Right? And at the same time, sometimes a situation is given to us precisely to cause us to move in a certain way. So we want to confirm that with our authorities. And in that way, no matter what happens, you're protected. The blessing is actually being given to move in a certain direction. Okay, so that's the way that we would think about it. I don't know if that answers your question, Janet Sundari. Another thing about recognition. Yeah, the point about recognition, we can look at it in the healthy sense of the 6 loving exchanges. Actually, whenever you're loving towards the devotees, whenever you try to perform devotional service with a loving mood, it will always come back to you. The trick is to understand that it doesn't necessarily come back through the person that you were interacting with. So we think I'm going to be loving and this person should reciprocate. I gave you 2 burpees for breakfast, right? Maharprasad and nothing, right? Next time you were serving, nada. Nothing happened. I'm so upset. We should understand, no, it will come back. So it's given by Rupa Goswami, right? In his Upadeshamrita, Priti Lakshanam, these 6 loving exchanges. But you should know, when you engage in loving devotional service, and when we have loving exchanges with the devotees, that loving energy is never lost. So what is appreciation? What is feeling valued? It is actually that sense of a loving reciprocation, a loving exchange. That's the essence of it. One thing that I always find really interesting in this regards is that has so much more to do with what we give, you know? So what we're trying to do is we're trying to always give that loving energy, you see? The fact that it comes back to you, that is actually in one sense incidental. We're trying to be loving, right? And if you give out that loving energy, it will always find its way back to you. It may not come through that same medium that you gave it, right? Through that same person, through that same situation or circumstance, but it always comes back. So part of the consideration of a devotee is to be attentive to see how Krishna is reciprocating in his own loving way, and where that loving energy is coming back from. If I think it has to come this way, then when it doesn't come this way, I feel that there's no reciprocation. But actually, I don't see it's flooding back in this way. So that's the way that we would consider that, yeah, like that. We want to be the example that we want to receive from others or want to see from others. So I would switch that. The focus wouldn't be whether I'm being appreciated or not. The focus would be, how can I appreciate the devotees more? How can I encourage the devotees more? How can I encourage the devotees more? And again, it's an experiment that we can all try. If I focus in that way, if I'm attentive, I will see that energy of appreciation, care, love, it will always come back. It will always come back. How it comes back, that's up to Krishna ultimately. But it will always come back to me, so I'll receive it many times over. Does that answer your question? Okay, thank you for your question. Who has the microphone? So I can see a hand there. Yeah, this is our Q&A earlier. And then okay, we'll see how we do this. Yeah, so I forgot, lost track of time.
Is that okay?
That's fine. Because I can cover everything in the next session if need be.
I
Yes.
was thinking, like yesterday you were talking about putting Krishna at the center, right?
Yes.
So, like the discussion that we're having today, if we put Krishna at the center instead of us and expecting some kind of reciprocation, I think a lot of the problem gets solved by, okay, I'm doing this for Krishna. So rather than expecting anything in return, whatever service we render, it's actually for Krishna. So then the expectations sort of disappears.
Yeah. So I'm going to connect this to what was said. Look, we have to honestly recognize that we also have this human experience. Okay? We have this human experience, and that is also covered. So for example, the point is made, swajati. The one should associate with devotees who are like-minded. When you associate with devotees who are like-minded, we love and respect everyone. That's the first point. First of all, love and respect should be there for all the Vaishnavas, actually even for all living entities, first of all. That said, because we're personal, there'll be some devotees who you have more of a similar mood or enthusiasm, reciprocation. So sometimes the issue is also that we don't have friends in Krishna consciousness. So swajati, and then it's also said snigdha, so affectionate. So it's important that we have our swajati association, right, like-minded association. Often you'll feel that appreciation, especially through that like-minded association. Snigdha, affectionate association. You often feel that love and appreciation, especially through those people, because those devotees particularly understand where you're coming from. They're like-minded. So they understand how hard you're trying, how much you're serving, what you're doing, like that. But this point, going back to your point about service without any desire for anything in return, the irony is Krishna wants to give everything. You see? So when we say we want to do service with no expectation of anything in return, Krishna says himself, Yeyatamam prapadyante. Right? He says, as you surrender unto me, I reward you accordingly. So Krishna is not like the conditioned living entities in this world. It is guaranteed that by engaging in Krishna's service, he will reciprocate. There's no question of it. How he reciprocates is down to him. But the beauty of it is that actually you will feel full insight. What's it? Ahoy tukiyat pratiyata yayatmasu prasidati. So it said that devotional service should be unmotivated, right? Not without a kind of desire for something material. And it said it should be uninterrupted. And it says why? In order to completely satisfy the self. So the formula for satisfaction is given there. If we serve sincerely, you will feel a fullness within you. You will feel, and Maharaj spoke about this before, you'll know that Krishna is pleased because you're satisfied, because we're part and parcel of him. So it's a different type of reciprocation, actually. It's a different type of satisfaction. It may not always be external, but actually the external is secondary. It's better to feel deeply satisfied and full inside than to be an individual in this world who has so many people around them saying nice things, and the same individual feels lonely. Right? You see, sometimes people who are very famous, they feel lonely.
Yeah.
My spiritual master was, he was with Muhammad Ali early in the morning, and Muhammad Ali told him, because he wake up early, and he told him, so that, he said, you're the only person who comes to me wanting to give something. Everyone else comes to take. He said, I have people calling me up even now. I can't trust my family. I can't trust the people around me because they all want something. So things are not always what they seem in Kali Yuga. Even the person who you think, oh, everyone really appreciates them, everyone really loves them, that same person that you think is so much appreciated, that same person can be the person who's in so much anxiety, no one loves me, they're just being nice to me because I have something.
Yeah. Who was that comedian? What was his name? Robin something?
Robin Williams, yeah.
I mean, he was so popular.
Yeah. And he commits suicide, yeah.
This was a shock. Even the lawyers felt the shock. This person was so popular. He would draw so many hundreds of people. He was a comedian.
Yeah.
He was the best comedian, as far as ratings were concerned.
Yeah.
And he had high class people coming. But all of a sudden, he was gone.
Yeah.
He committed suicide. Everyone was shocked. No, there was no indication before that. And he was, even considering taking his life. So yeah, it just illustrates your point. Yeah, there's no fame and all of this glorification doesn't touch the heart.
It's true.
Yeah, that was, what was his name?
Robin Williams, yeah.
That was a shock.
Yeah.
I didn't know much about it, but the devotees did. And when they heard about it, it was quite traumatic.
Yeah, I was shocked as well. Just even, the way
He was such a nice person, too.
Yeah.
The way he dealt with people, it's still something is missing.
Yeah. Thank you. So just on that point, because it's such an important point, we're looking for love, actually. The soul is built for love. It's not even so much what people say about us. You're looking to feel that sense of genuine love. And that means someone who loves you as you are. Not what we say, not what the branding is, not what appears on the screen. And that's the difficulty with fame. One of the many difficulties of fame. People can love the projection and they can love the brand, but they don't know the person. You see? So this is how to consider it. Krishna says he'll reciprocate. Our job is to actually go like that. Otherwise, the danger is even in our spiritual communities, you can be so popular and still feel so empty, unappreciated, because it's not the same as people who intimately care about you for who you are. Yeah, so we should serve selflessly while taking care of ourselves so we remain healthy in Krishna's service. Then everything's perfect. Is that okay? Thank you. Okay, I can see If you could pass the microphone to Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Kirtan is exact solution to everything. I find that can you give us some clear guidance how to perform this Sankirtan? What does it mean? Like, should we like? Can you give us some guidance how to do this Sankirtan, Kirtans to actually solve all our problems?
Yeah. So I inquired my authorities once about what the mood should be when we're engaging in Sankirtan, and they quoted one verse: Trinada Pisanicha no Toro Pisesnana Amani Namana Dena Kirtaniya Sadahare. They should be done in that mood. That was Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. He told me that. That's the way you do it. You chant in that particular mood, and everything will come in that particular sense. Sorry? No, I think that's you're the example. So yeah, that's the mood. But also Sankirtan is everything. We want to engage everything in Krishna's service because it's all his anyway. Aham Savasya Prabhava Mata Sadhan Pravata Iti Bhajante Mam Buddha Bhava Samambitaha. Everything's coming from him, everything emanates from him. So we're only giving him back what is actually his. But the trick is we're trying to do it with love, with devotion. And that is also why we have spiritual masters, mentors. So we can practice this mood of selflessness by trying to serve their agenda, trying to serve the spiritual master. What does my spiritual master want? And how do I do that in the right mood? And when the spiritual master is pleased, so much mercy comes. There's a wonderful verse, 8th Canto Bhagavatam, chapter 15, text number 28. And so this is a pastime where Bali Maharaj is defeating the demigods. And they go to Brahaspati and they're asking Brahaspati, how has he become so powerful? And Brahaspati says that the Brahmana descendants of Bhrigu Muni, they were pleased with Bali Maharaj, so they gave him this blessing. And they endowed him with this tremendous spiritual power, and that's where his prowess is actually coming from. 8th Canto, chapter 15, text number 28. Then in the purport to that verse, Prabhupada says, the mercy of the spiritual master is even more significant than one's endeavor for such advancement. It's in that purport. So this is what we'll talk about in the next session, my last session. There's actually a science of empowerment. There's actually a science in the books of how one can become empowered. And with that Krishna Shakti, with that empowerment, that allows one to be used, as Maharaj said beautifully yesterday, that allows you to be used by the Supreme Personality of Godhead to achieve his own agenda. He's very selfless. So he wants to do amazing things, but he wants to give his own devotees the credit. So Prabhupada was once asked, if Bhaktivinoda Thakur was so powerful, why did he not spread the mission? Prabhupada said Bhaktivinoda Thakur was all powerful because he's Vaishnava. He said he's Vaishnava, he's all powerful. He could have done it all himself, but he felt merciful to us, so he left us something to do. So this is our opportunity to clean our own hearts. So the mercy is unlimited, actually. Yeah, the mercy of the Lord there's absolutely no limit to that mercy, but there's a science of how to receive that empowerment. Yeah, and so there are some things which relate to how to receive that empowerment. And then if you receive that empowerment, you can do anything. Yeah, and we'll talk about that more in the next session. Okay. Any last question? Oh, do you want to make a comment? Yes. Do you want to pass the microphone? Okay. Yeah. So one can lose the empowerment. So I'll one example I was thinking about yesterday. So
the demigods were defeated because they had offended Brihaspati.
Yes.
They lost the mercy of Brihaspati.
Maybe you can speak in the mic just so that they can hear you, March, please.
It's mentioned in 6th Canto when Indra was receiving worship. The spiritual master came in, standing by the door, was watching Indra getting all of his glorification. But Indra didn't even acknowledge his spiritual master, although he saw him.
Yeah.
And then Brihaspati understood his pride, so he turned around and left.
Yeah.
And then Indra realized he had made a mistake by not honoring the presence of his spiritual master when he came in. it was too late. And he searched all over, couldn't find Brihaspati anywhere. Right after that, the demigods were easily defeated by the demigods. They couldn't even fight. They just left their abode. So that's an example of how by offending, also you lose the power, many lose the opportunity to receive the mercy.
Beautiful. Thank you, Maharaj. But one thing I was thinking about is that sometimes in our history of our movement, sometimes the leaders, you have told me, be in a position of leadership, and while they're connected, they're doing amazing things. Or let's say Krishna's doing amazing things through them. And then if someone stops practicing or leaves, you'll see that what they're achieving when they're connected is nothing like what they're doing when they're not connected. So that shows it's the empowerment that's coming from Krishna. It comes through the individuals to make things happen. But if I move out of the current of that empowerment, the empowerment stays here. If I move away from it, then suddenly you go somewhere else, there's nothing happens. But while you're in that current, all kinds of phenomenal things are going on and happening through the particular individual. So, yes, that's something to really understand. There's unlimited mercy, unlimited empowerment. It's just knowing how to get access to that. That's key. There's a few things to mention from Prabhupada's statements. I'll touch upon one or two, but so Prabhupada, for example, this is what I wrote yesterday. So Prabhupada made a few statements about himself, right? So he talked about how, if there's any qualification, he said, I didn't deviate from the orders of my spiritual master, like that. And he also talked about making the orders of one's spiritual master one's life and soul, like that. So it's that reciprocation that comes when Krishna sees you really want to be used as an instrument for achieving his purpose. We could say it also comes through the order of the Guru, like that. The spiritual master can empower. We gave the example of the Pandavas. They go and they ask their elders, we need to fight against you. So I'm going to ask you, please give us your blessings so we can actually defeat you. Can you imagine that, right? You're going to a boxing match, and you're going to say to the person on the other side, give me a hand. How, what kind of right hook can I use to really knock you out? And they're like, no worries, this is what you do. This is how you do it. There are many examples like that. Yeah.
That happens when, what was it? This is mentioned in Kavi's Ramayana. When, what's his name? Ravana captured Sita, and then he was attacked by Jatayu. And there was a big fight, and Jatayu was doing good. And actually Ravana couldn't defeat him. So he says to Jatayu, I'll tell you my weak spot, and you tell me your weak spot. But Ravana was cheating, he lied about his weak spot. But Jatayu actually said my wings. So then Ravana got the point and cut off his wings. That's how he was able to defeat him. That's mentioned in Kavi's Ramayana.
Wow.
Yeah, that's brother Subal Vilas Prabhu next year in his series on the Ramayana. So there was like, okay, I'll tell you my weak spot, you tell me your weak spot. But Ravana said my foot is my weak spot, but he was lying.
Yeah, be careful who you talk to. Like that. Yeah. Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Very.
Subal Vilas brings it up in his presentation.
Yeah. So we're trying to please the devotees. If we can please the devotees, then being pleased, it bestows a certain mercy. And Maharaj talked about this even in terms of the Sankirtan. You introduce a different energy into your life. That's what the Sankirtan actually does. It introduces a different potency into the life of the individual, and that potency opens up new possibilities, like that. And of course, it means that it will be what Krishna wants. It doesn't mean that everything externally always turns out a certain way. It's what Krishna wants. But interestingly enough, that point that's made in the purport to 8.15.28 specifically is the blessings of the spiritual master really help one to make advancement. Because people sometimes think empowerment means external things. It doesn't always mean external things, right? actually empowerment, if you're empowered, you can actually make progress, advancement in Krishna consciousness. So the devotee who can really has a strong taste for chanting, that's the mercy of the devotees. The devotee who has, deep realization on Radha and Krishna's pastime, that's coming from a form of empowerment. Right? Prabhupada's ability to write these books is his empowerment, his extreme empowerment, like that. So all of these things, they all come in that purview of empowerment, and that comes from blessings. Yeah. Okay. I think. Okay, last one. Okay. Should I do it?
Thank you.
Thank you for your empowerment. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu. On this point of being socially situated properly, it is very important as Brajanana Prabhu's
Maharaja.
Sorry, I know your wife. So I was thinking about this because it takes a lot of time for people to trust us and for us to trust people when we go through a yatra or a situation, because many of us come with childhood trauma and a lot of emotional baggage, and we bring that. Our bodies may be old, but we still have those childhood needs that were unmet, and so people become wary because they know all these things are there, and so it's going to take time for people to trust us, and it's going to take time for us to trust them. So when we come into a new yatra or a new community, we have to understand it's going to take time, both for us and for them.
Yeah.
But because we are so needy, we immediately I want recognition, I want praise, I want acknowledgement, I want this, but because I'm still a child inside. So I was just thinking that some of these things are internal work that we need to do in order to first be situated properly and reach a point of stability. Then we can expect to have stable, loving, intimate relationships, because now people are not so wary of us. They know they can trust us to some extent. So just some thoughts I was sharing.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I'll just say one thing to that before we continue, and that is that we have to be that for other people. You see, that's why we should be working on ourselves, and that includes proper chanting, reading, hearing. We should be that for other people. You see, so if I feel that I need to make sure that I'm dealing with others in a way that's loving, supportive, and encouraging, if I do that for other people, if everyone's thinking I want to be that for someone else, that will really uplift the environment, And the other thing I'll say also is that while receiving, in order to give, also we should position ourselves to receive. So again, associating properly. You shouldn't associate blindly, but we should associate properly. Seek out loving, healthy Vaishnava association. That's one thing. And be that for others as well. If we keep doing both, then it will never, there will be no lacking, because we're trying to give that, and we're also trying to receive that. Then the chain is actually continuous, consistent, and proper. Usually the issues, if it's just one or the other, it's all about I want that and I don't want to give, or I'm trying to give and I'm not also positioning myself to receive. That usually is where one or the other being out of balance is usually where things become problematic. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so please.
Very quick.
Please. Can you pass the microphone for Shuta Kirti, Prabhu? Please.
Devotee once asked or said to Srila Prabhupada, everyone loves you. Prabhupada said, yes, because I love everyone.
Beautiful. Well, that's perfect.
That sums it.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much. That's beautiful. Hare Krishna. Yeah, okay, so on that bombshell, we'll stop there. Thank you, it's perfect. That's a perfect explanation. Thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to the next class by His Holiness Candramauli Maharaj and the rest of the day. Thank you, and we'll see you later. Hare Krishna. Some announcements.
There's 3 miracles for Bhuta Bhavan, Prabhu. Beautiful Q&A. Thank you everyone for engaging so amazingly. Quick announcement, if we could kindly have 6 volunteers please to help with Prashadam.
Class is here.
And class will be 10 o'clock in the yoga hall. So please come to the yoga hall 10 o'clock and we'll do Candramauli.
I amended it and then shared it last night.
There was an adjustment.
We've adjusted for you going to be sharper because he's here for a very short while. He's leaving today.
What time is he speaking?
11:25.
Today. Okay, so I start at 10. To 11:15. Very well. Whatever you arrange, I have to accept.
And one other final thing, the devotees who are getting initiated tomorrow, please stay in the temple room just for a quick meeting before you go to breakfast. Thank you so much.
Should I look at those things? Sometimes I do. I guess